Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital got off to a great start this week, and while many people were getting ready for the nurses' ball, others were juggling heated arguments. Carly and Nina and the heated argument that broke out on Monday's show are the first two that spring to mind. As their heated conversation swiftly descended into violence, and the women began hitting one another, viewers watched. Before we knew it, Carly and Nina had fallen off the couch and onto the floor, with the latter on top, poised to break a candle over Carly's head. Slaps had transformed into tumbles. The issue wasn't under control until Josh showed up and dragged Nina away from her mother. Stunt doubles are frequently used in these situations to protect the daylight stars from potential harm. We can also understand why it was done for this moment in the instance of Laura Wright, who had been recuperating from a knee injury. On its official Instagram, the ABC soap opera tweeted a few images of the women who organized the catfight along with the caption, "Without the skills of stunt performers Heather Leah Bonomo and Kara Smith, Nina and Carly's battle royale would not have been possible." Fans readily gave the ladies a round of applause for their performance when urged to give them all a round of applause for making today's all-new just that much more dramatic. General Hospital got off to a great start this week, with some coping with tense conflicts while others got ready for the nurses' ball. Carly and Nina, and the major altercation that broke out on Monday's episode, are the first two that spring to mind. Fans were both astonished and ecstatic when the long-simmering rivalry between these two women finally erupted. The violent altercation, which had been developing for months or even years, was more than just a verbal battle. Emotions are always running hot in Port Charles, as demonstrated by the violent scene, which was a perfect storm of betrayal, envy, and unresolved rage. One of the most interesting plot lines on General Hospital in recent years has been Carly and Nina's rivalry. A complicated network of lies, secrets, and personal grudges at the root of their fight. Given Nina's complex past with Sonny Corinthos, Carly, who is renowned for her fiery temper and passionate devotion to her family, has never completely trusted Nina. In contrast, Nina has frequently played the victim in Carly's eyes, using her past trauma as a shield and taking advantage of circumstances. There has been a noticeable tension between them, with each woman feeling that her contempt for the other is warranted. The episode on Monday escalated their hostility to a new level. A verbal sparring session swiftly turned into a full-fledged physical altercation. Both women gave honest, heartfelt performances in the well-choreographed moment, which made the confrontation seem all too genuine. Accusations were made more quickly than fists, hair was pulled, and slaps were given and received. The argument was about everything that had been kept silent between them, not simply the current point of contention. Carly pointed out Nina's previous transgressions, and Nina responded by criticizing Carly's egotistical actions. Viewers were gripped by the scene's intensity, and wondered if this would be the turning point that permanently altered their dynamic. However, this week's dramatic confrontations weren't limited to Carly and Nina. Some of the more surprising personalities are part of another covert combat club that has been developing in Port Charles behind the scenes. For months, there have been rumors of underground fights where people resolve their differences with fists rather than words. Although these altercations are not authorized and are undoubtedly illegal, they provide a release for the participants' bottled-up anger and resentment. According to people close to the event, this clandestine combat club has been going on for a while, and its members range from reputable doctors to mob enforcers. Because any disclosure could damage reputations or even result in criminal charges, the secrecy surrounding these fights adds an additional element of risk. Only those with something to prove, or something to hide, dare to engage in the vicious bouts, which have no rules and no mercy. The fact that Jason Morgan, Sonny Corinthos' notorious enforcer, may have participated in these altercations long before he is said to have died is among the most startling discoveries. According to insiders, Jason challenged some of Port Charles's most formidable fighters in these underground bouts to keep his talents sharp. His involvement was always motivated by control, discipline, and his unwavering devotion to the people he safeguarded, not by wealth or fame. Hamilton Finn is another unexpected name, associated with the Fight Club. Finn is known for being a cool-headed doctor, but his involvement raises the possibility that he has a darker side that he keeps well disguised from his loved ones and co-workers. Some people speculate that Finn's involvement is due to his ongoing stress from his demanding medical work or unresolved resentment over the loss of his sibling. For whatever reason, his membership in the Fight Club gives his character an intriguing depth, demonstrating that even the most calm people have weak places. Then there is Drew Kane, who is a strong opponent in any battle due to his military experience. It's unclear from Drew's involvement in the underground fights if he's looking for vengeance, atonement, or just a rush of adrenaline. Since old grudges might potentially resurface in the midst of combat, his complex past with Jason and Carly gives the fights an additional complexity. Ava Jerome, however, is maybe the most fascinating fighter of all. Although sources say the crafty and manipulative art dealer has been a silent observer and occasionally participant in the Fight Club, she is not renowned for engaging in physical altercations. Given her involvement, it is likely that Ava uses the fights to obtain information for blackmail or to get rid of threats in a way that makes them impossible to identify. Because she always plays the long game, her presence gives the underground matches a macabre edge. The moral character of the people of Port Charles is seriously called into question by the existence of this covert combat club. How many of them are prepared to go beyond the bounds of justice, power, or self-gratification? What occurs when the arguments become a part of their daily lives? The last thing Port Charles needs is another scandal. But if the Fight Club is revealed, the consequences may be disastrous. Tensions are already high because of the nurses' ball preparations. The nurses' ball itself, meanwhile, is promised to be a glamorous, dramatic, and unexpectedly twisting evening. In typical General Hospital tradition, the yearly event is more likely to be a haven for mayhem than a celebration of optimism and harmony. With so many people carrying grudges, secrets, and ulterior motives, the ball might easily become a battlefield in and of itself. Viewers should anticipate more startling disclosures, heated arguments, and pivotal moments as the week goes on. The altercation between Carly and Nina was only the start. What more secrets will come to light before the nurses' ball is over? And what effects will the underground Fight Club have on the participants' lives? Nothing remains buried for very long in Port Charles, that much is clear. With its unique blend of emotional depth and high-stakes storytelling, General Hospital's drama never fails to enthrall viewers. The people of Port Charles repeatedly demonstrate their willingness to fight for their beliefs, both physically and symbolically, whether it's through vicious catfights or covert underground fights. Fans can only prepare for the cataclysmic fallout that will undoubtedly follow as the Fight Club's secrets gradually come to light. Carly and Nina have been told to go back to their corners till the next time, even if we don't think Joss interrupting the rivals when they were venting will stop their apathy about how their grandchildren should be handled. Editors have picked all of the highlighted goods and services on their own. On orders placed through its retail connections, Soaps.com might get paid a commission, and the retailer might get some auditable data for their records. Eden McCoy of General Hospital lost her mother, Natasha, after a protracted fight with cancer almost a year and a half ago. Few people were aware of the battle until she died. And until then, McCoy also kept it to herself. The actress also talked candidly about how she survived such a difficult loss, and how it changed her life when she appeared on Maurice Benard's State of Mind vlog. McCoy says, "My entire life was me, my mom, and my dad. But she doesn't really have a relationship with her father. It was Christmas. We didn't meet up with other relatives. There are no other families that I know of. It was awful to lose that unit. However, she has created a new family following the death of her mother. Her family of choice. My friends have literally become my family. And that started as soon as her mother passed away." McCoy adds, "I remember it being really strange for a while. Extremely numb. Although I experienced a couple major breakdowns, I was fine on a daily basis. Furthermore, not in the manner of, I'm shocked and my body is suppressing this grief. I was truly appreciative. I lived a life of thankfulness. I was really appreciative of her in the time. So appreciative. It was insane. That included the lessons of thankfulness her mother instilled in her despite her illness. The actress says she'd chosen to feel lucky, as her mother was dying. Then, I was never alone for months after she passed away. Never truly alone. Rather, McCoy immediately immersed herself in her neighborhood. She says, my friends became everything to me. People were coming to sit at my place in shifts, merely to be present. I recall not wanting to be by myself. That continued for months, and it was just enjoyable time spent with friends. To be clear, it was extremely difficult and still is, she remarked. In the months following her death, I was at my best ever. The first 6 months were the easiest for me, if we're talking about how emotionally upset I was. For so long I was so close to it. As the amount of time that has passed since her death increases, I am challenged. And as she encounters new difficulties and learns new things after her mother's death, time continues to teach her things. I recently realized that there is no way to solve or move past anything, McCoy acknowledges. It will hit you when it hits you, and it's just acceptance. I've also got to learn to respect that emotion, she reflects. The only person who would support me through everything was my mom. However, they remain together despite the heartbreaking loss. I'm from my mother. I am physically my mother. I was made by her. According to science, she is a part of my body, which greatly comforts me. Additionally, because I'm a developing person, I constantly learn new things about her.